And if you are out and about, you might want to watch your speed because law enforcement in Georgia and in 4 other southern states going to be kicking off a week-long campaign targeting speeding and aggressive drivers.
Atlanta News First Niamani Watson is live in Midtown. Niamani, they say this just isn't about writing tickets.
That's right. It's called Operation Southern Slowdown. Highway safety officials say it's about preventing crashes and saving lives.
Each year, thousands, not hundreds, but thousands of people lose their lives because of speeding on our highways.
Through July 19th, law enforcement across Georgia and 4 other southern states will be stepping up patrols and traffic stops as part of the 9th annual Operation Southern Slowdown. The message is simple. Speeding isn't just a ticket risk, it's a crash risk.
Let me be clear. Speed limit signs are not suggestions or guidelines. They are the law.
In Georgia alone, officials say about 40% of speeding-related crashes involve 2 or more vehicles. Roger Hayes with the Governor's Office of Highway Safety says more than half of the people killed or seriously injured are not the speeding driver, meaning innocent drivers, passengers, and people walking often pay the price.
While state and local law enforcement officers wish they didn't have to do it and make so many traffic stops, they will do so to potentially prevent a family from losing a loved one in a crash that was preventable.
During last year's campaign week in Georgia, officers made more than 13,000 speeding contacts, over 500 DUI arrests, and cited nearly 1,900 hands-free violations. Hayes says the number of people killed in crashes in Georgia during that week is 50% less than the weeks before and after the campaign.
That's more than 200 lives that's been saved over the past 8 years of this campaign.
If you run into an aggressive driver, officers say don't engage. If someone's tailgating, let them pass. Stay out of the far left lane unless you're passing, and buckle up every trip, every seat. This week is about educating drivers as well. There will be messages about speeding and reckless driving posted on billboards and on law enforcement social media. Reporting live from Midtown, I'm Niamani Watson, Atlanta News First.